competition is very tough, and anything you can give up, like we did at the start of last year, it hurt us at the end. So if we had those valuable points, the championship could have been totally different. So I don't know. We have to hopefully try and get some points in Birmingham.
All right, thanks. That's Scott Dixon. Marty?
Well, and there's one other big event that these guys point towards this early in the season, and not just the championship. And of course, we're talking about the Indianapolis 500. Elio Castroneves will try to become the fourth four-time winner. Team Penske will be going for its 16th win. We'll have 5 women drivers looking to make the field. It will be May 30th, noon on ABC. Mark the calendar right now. And guess who's driving the pace car? Good Morning America's Robin Roberts, a former employee of ESPN, and she's looking forward to that. And she's going to do a great job.
That should be very interesting. And I just also read a note this morning that Andretti Autosport will announce a 5th entry for the Indianapolis 500 down at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this Wednesday. So their group is going to grow.
All right, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, we talked about the fact Danica had not used the push to pass. We listened in on the radio conversation. Here's why.
Fuel now. I can use overtake as much as I want.
Take it easy now. You're being a bit greedy this early. Just relax here. Let our engineers work on this for a second.
Okay.
Tom Anderson.
All good for a gunfight here after it goes green.
I'm a race car driver. I want to go as fast as possible, and I want it now.
And there's Michael Andretti looking on. He's calling the shots on Tony Kanaan's car. Let's set this for you. It's Will Power first, Justin Wilson second, Ryan Briscoe third, Elio Castroneves fourth, Alex Tagliani fifth, Danica Patrick sixth, Rafa Mato seventh, Ray Hall eighth, Kanaan and Franchitti round out your top 10. Jamie?
Well, I wanted to talk about push to pass and who else has a lot to use up, and that is Ryan Briscoe. Before it went green last time, they told him he had 18 left, and they expect him to use it. He is good on fuel. He has 4 blacks bolted on there. He has worked his way. Remember, he qualified poorly in the back. He has worked his way up to third, so keep your eye on the 6 car.
Now the push to pass that are left are running across the ticker. So Briscoe now has used it 3 more times. He's down to 15. Castroneves has 13. Tagliani only has 8. Danica has 16 remaining. That gives you an idea of what that is at the top of your screen. Here we go. Will Power leads them out of turns 13 and 14. Green flag will be in the air, and we'll be back to racing here in St. Petersburg with 22 laps to go.
Marty, I got to tell you, that is the most strung-out restart I have ever seen, and all those guys all the way behind Power need to learn what's going on, because you got to take advantage of it, as Danica Patrick is trying to do right now, and Alex Tagliani. Those guys just gave up a lot of real estate by not being in queue and tight going into the last turn.
She tried to take a peek on the inside of Tagliani, was not able to get it done. Now the snake down towards turn 4. They missed that bump down there at the beginning of the roadway because it is very severe. It can take your fillings right out of your teeth.
And also been here since the very first time we came here in 2005.
Heading down towards turn number 10, Will Power with Justin Wilson. Boy, would Dreyer Reinbold love to see Wilson go to victory in his 2nd race for that team. 3rd place, Ryan Briscoe. Remember, he won here last year. Here comes Briscoe. Right behind him, Elio Castroneves. Then Tagliani. Then Danica. And they're going by so fast I can't give you the rest of them as they zip on past us. All right, let's zero in on the battle for 3rd because it's getting a little closer, although the teammates now space it out a little more.
Castroneves, remember, he has won here twice, was not in this race last year because he was still dealing with his court case and missed this race completely. Got cleared of that and then showed up at Long Beach after the first day of practice. He certainly would like to come back here and have at least a podium finish.
Another person looking for a podium finish, Danica Patrick. Remember, it has been a very hard weekend for that team. And a couple of cars back, Graham Rahal looking to secure some sponsor dollars to complete the season. He's got a 2-race deal with Sarah Fisher Racing, and right now doing an excellent job running 8th.
And you're right. He's got that Dollar General machine up there running 8th, and that is impressive because they have gone through a host of problems this weekend. As our Richter Brule was mentioning early, they changed everything on that thing except the kitchen sink, and I give him a lot of credit for driving the wheels off that thing. They will learn, they will improve, and make it better. Ryan Hunter-Ray, another one of those Andretti Autosport drivers, very competitive. all in the queue here. Are we going to start using our push to pass? Let's watch.
Well, and Hunter Ray's down to 5, so he is burning them up, trying to fight his way because he knows it's go time. We have 20 laps remaining on this 1.8-mile circuit. Vince, what's the latest on Ryan?
Well, Ryan Hunter-Reay's been working with this race car throughout the course of the day, just trying to get it to be a little more comfortable. It hasn't been handling to his liking, and this is a guy that already feels the pressure with that IZOD logo on his car. IZOD, of course, the title sponsor of the series and also the sponsor on his car. And Ryan Hunter-Reay told me this weekend, he said, I feel like we've got to perform every week. We don't have a full season deal. We need people to come on board from a sponsorship standpoint, and to do that, I've got to perform. And then you toss in the fact that IZOD is on the car. He said, I feel a lot of pressure to do well, but I'd say, guys, he's standing up quite well under that pressure. He was second at Brazil and running in the top half again today.
Yeah, he's all over. You can see Franchitti right in front of him, and that's Tony Kanaan just 2 cars up.
You look at the names that are in this field, Marty, I mean, all the way through, there is nobody here that you would not say is capable of winning this race. I mean, all the way through the top 10 and even further on, Ryan Hunter-Reay is in 11th, Andretti is in 12th. It just goes on. It's so thick. To be able to make up a spot on the racetrack is so difficult because everybody is just so strong in this series right now, so competitive.
Well, we've tied for the most leaders in this race at 8. We've broken the record for lead changes. The old record was 9. We now have 10. Does that give you an idea how balanced the field is this year? Move our coverage up to another man who's going to be making a full season run. That's Alex Tagliani right there in the 77. As you can see, he is running just ahead of Danica Patrick in 5th, Rick DeBrule.
And they used a little pit strategy to do that. In the last stop, he came in and got fuel only, did not change the tires. As a result, they've told him you've got to watch those tires. You've got to make sure that you don't abuse them during this last stint. But another guy who's had a big change over the last season, he's now part of this team in terms of being a team owner, looking to get as good a finish as he can today to project for the rest of the season. And so far, the strategy is working. But once again, he has to make sure he babies those tires as much as possible. And with Danica right behind him, like you can see, that's not going to be easy.
Alex, the pride of La Chennai, Quebec, the only Canadian in the series. 10 countries represented, 6 from Brazil, 4 from the U.S., and 4 from England, 2 from Australia, Venezuela, and Japan, and 1 from New Zealand, Switzerland, Canada, and Scotland. That gives you the balance. As we look back towards the race lead, and look at Justin Wilson. He is closing down the gap now, as it is down under a second. In fact, it looks about maybe 3/10 of a second.
Well, his last lap was about 3/10 of a second faster than Will Power. So has he been conserving his tires and starting to ready to get close to him just to be able to push? We've got 82 out of 100 laps done right now, but not using the push to pass. But you can be assured that if it gets very close here at the end, the drivers will have their button on that, their finger on the button. Remember, it lasts for 12 seconds. It takes 10 seconds to reset. So you might be able to use it around here about 3 times per lap.
17 laps remaining. And Will Power trying to take back-to-back wins on the street circuits of first Brazil and now St. Petersburg. Justin Wilson wants to deny him that privilege and give Dreyer Reinbold its first win of the season and first with its new driver. A little further back, Ryan Briscoe. Remember, he caught a break earlier in this race as he pitted, and then all of a sudden the yellow came out, allowed him to cycle through. Right behind him is Elio Castroneves in 4th, and we talked about Alex Tagliani in 5th. And right behind is the 7 in 6th of Danica Patrick, Rafa Matos in 7th, and Graham Rahal running in 8th, Tony Kanaan 9th, Dario Franchitti 10th.
As we look at Danica Patrick there in her GoDaddy car, you have to think last year, how many times did she, a lot of times, qualify as the front runner for the Andretti Green Team last year, and now she's up front out of all 4 cars for Andretti Autosport. Many times her finishes were the best out of anybody on that team last year.
There you see Tony Kanaan and Dario Franchitti. These guys, good friends off the racetrack, but right now, both of them trying to fight their way back and get back into the top 5 because they're running 9th and 10th, respectively. And the laps are winding down.
Well, winding down, and this is a time in the race where you're sore, you've been bounced around here. It's a very bumpy street circuit.